Welcome back to the diary room, Sammy. Let's get right into it.
Sounds good.
So, Valley 7-0. I'm assuming not much thoughts there.
No, not really. I mean, it kind of like I think it would have been funny if I would have voted for Val to stay, so that I still didn't vote in the majority. But like, I kind of said my piece there. Like maybe if it wasn't Crow, I would have thrown the vote there. But like, I mean, I like Val, but there was no way I was voting Crow out of the game.
Fair enough. So, probably worst case scenario happens for you where you're forced to sit out of the HOH by an anonymous power, and and Mira also wins the head of household. So, kind of how were you feeling at this point?
I'm a level with you. I wasn't feeling very happy. Like I kind of had to sleep on it, and today I kind of had acceptance of like, okay, I need to like do my like rounds. I need to like figure things out. I need to get set the veto will work or I'll be saved. But like at the time last night, I was feeling pretty down. I was like, even if I try with this, I'm still gonna be in the game and having to deal with one of us is gonna lose to the other. So it's like it was kind of tough. Like unlike every other week where it was like, I think she is the only HOH in the game who would have put me up, I don't feel like that was as much the case as normal. So technically, relatively speaking, it was worse than if it was less bad than if she won an earlier week, I guess. Also because Crow had his immunity this week, which made it a lot better that it was this week that she won, that's for sure. But like at the time I wasn't in a very good mood. I was not very happy about the game in general or her winning, I'll be honest, especially since I had been told beforehand about the fact that like she was the one who had blocked me from the HOH, and I had been told it from two separate sources, which to be fair, I could have guessed, but the fact that confirmation was like, I'm not just being paranoid about this. The same person blocked me and won HOH. I'm going on the block. I basically, even in my message to her, I was like, I pretty much was like, am I like, do you want me to talk here or would I just be wasting both of our time? And then I got a chat GPT response. So honestly, that about sums up how I felt about the good things at that point.
Please, sounds good. So you're, nommed, of course, I'm sure you were expecting it, but
Yeah.
you're nom next to Michael, someone you've put high on your trust rankings. Um, Kind of how'd you feel about those nominations?
Um, Torn, truthfully, because like the thought process was like, I want Crow to stay, but Crow would have been the easiest person to stay against. Michael is someone where I feel like Michael is more connected on a group level, but I feel like I am more connected on an individual level than Mike. So I feel like there are people who I could have stayed in the game against and people who would have been a lot harder. And I feel like it's kind of like with the short term, long term things. Short term in terms of can I stay in the game? Michael was not a terrible option for me to be up against. I think that he was probably, in terms of survivability, one of the best options I could have been up against. In terms of long term, I obviously, like you said, I have him high a lot of the time, so it's like I don't want him to leave, and I would have been sad doing it. Like I should have told him, I'm like, look, I know we've talked a lot of game and stuff like that. I'm not using the things that you said against you. If it's me versus you as the final nominees, I'm going to try and stay on my own merits, but I'm not dragging you through the dirt type deal. So like, you know, in terms of me surviving, one of the better options. In terms of me actually being happy, probably not a very good option.
Please, period. So the power veto competition occurs, and Crow wins the veto. So, kind of, do you think he's going to use it on you, or where's your head out with the veto right now?
I mean, for the sake of it, I'll start with my thought process before he outright confirmed to me that he will be using it on me. But I was pretty excited when he won. Like I basically went into this with the thought process of like either Michael or either Michael or Mira winning is obviously bad case scenario if I want to survive in the game. Blaze, I don't really have vibes that Blaze would have saved me. I feel like Blaze would have done the whole like, oh well, I'm gonna not use it to not piss off the house, and I might try and save you, but I also might just not. We'll see. And Ryan gave me a sketchy answer where I asked him if he was going to if he would use the veto on me or if he'd keep the noms the same, and he told me that he wouldn't keep the noms the same. So I know he was going to use it, but I wasn't confident it was going to be on me. But I went into the veto with the thought process of if I win the veto, that is a win, and if Crow wins the veto, that is a win. So I was very excited when Crow won, especially since I kind of choked the last part of the competition and lost like 20 seconds to like 25 seconds. So that would have made the difference between winning or losing. So the fact that it didn't matter makes me not be disappointed in myself. But no, I was pretty happy about it. And then like he was making it clear like he will 100% be using it on me, both because of the fact that like because of the fact that he'd be saving me because it's me, but also B, the fact that Mira outright said he would have gone on the block if he wasn't immune. So by doing this, we had talked about before, like it makes it so that both people that she wanted to put on the block are immune for the week, and she has to do something that she won't want to do. So like he was going to save me either way with this. So
Very interesting. So, should you come off the block, who do you expect would be the replacement nominee?
God, that's a good question. If I'm thinking in terms of what could possibly go wrong, my answer is Aiden. Because I honestly feel like at this point, Aiden going on the block is the worst case scenario. Like, spoilers for my trust ranking, Aiden's going to be higher than he was. Aiden's moving up to the tier with, like, where Michael and Ryan have been. Croes also getting his own tier, but that's besides the point. But I think that in terms of that, Aiden would be the worst person to put up here, who I think would be realistic. I don't really know who to expect, though. Like, at this point, it depends on, is she going to want to get Michael out of the game, or is she going to want to target someone? If I had to place money on a guess right now, and it wasn't just who is the worst option for me personally, then my money would go on Jordan, just because I feel like of all the people in the game right now, I feel like there is the most chance that Mira decides that I'm close with Jordan. Like there's different factors. Like obviously, like I've been a lot closer with Aiden lately. If somehow she knows that, I can see it going up. Or like I gave Shinx immunity, and if she finds that out, Shinx goes on the block, and I laugh my way to the bank. So like there's different factors, but I have no idea who will go up. But if I had to place a confident guess, it'd be Jordan.
Okay, so I'm assuming there's a lot of like guesswork on your part of kind of where Mira's head would be at, since y'all don't talk. But kind of, I'm curious, like, depending on who a renom would be, like, who would you prefer to keep between them and Michael?
I think that in terms of simply who I would prefer to keep, I would probably prefer to keep Michael over pretty much anyone there. I feel like getting people on the same page with that will be a bit difficult. I feel like Ryan and Jordan are kind of like, if they went up, it's like, oh well, no, sorry. If Aiden went up, it's like I can't vote out Aiden in this situation. Like I will pretty much sink my game if I do. So like I feel like Aiden is the one person who it's like, yeah, if he goes up, I'm just choosing to vote out Michael. Most other people, I feel like I'll try and like at least a little bit sway it to Michael, but I feel like in response for me being saved here, there's a non-zero chance I'm going to have to go along with that if that's what people aligned with me want to do. But I know that he's been at least a bit with that group, so like with the group with her, and I know that he told me recently as an alliance with her. So, you know what? I'd be sad to lose him, but like, there's worse things that could happen. So, I ideally like again, I would like to vote out someone who seems to be more connected if they go on the block. But if it's just like, hey, let's throw up Aiden, then it's like, I don't really gain anything out of either option. So like, you know.
Fair enough. I know Mira did talk with you about like, you nom me, now I nommed you. So that's kind of like, this is y'all being even now. Kind of how do you feel about that?
I feel like she's still going on the block immediately without a thought if I win HOH. I don't really expect that if she wins that it's going to mean anything. Like, I'm kind of in a position with a lot of things that she said, without going a lot into things where it's like, I'm going to have to assess after the game how I feel about factors, because with the game being something brought into it and stuff like that, I have a hard time trusting any of this. But also, my thing is with it, we talked about taking out people like how, okay, well, at that point, it can be a matter of going after threats because we'll be even. The problem is, I think that she's very connected and also is the person who talks least to me. So even in terms of that, I think that she is the biggest threat in the game to me. So I wasn't lying about that I would go after big threats, but I don't really think it'll go anywhere. If it somehow makes her not go against me for a week or so, great. But my money is on it changing literally nothing.
Right, fair enough. So I'm assuming you are gunning for HOH next then.
Most likely. I kind of feel like this is one of the few points where I could go for HOH, because I feel like at this point there are only two people in the game who I can put up without like putting without ruining a lot of like setup that I've been doing, and that would be Mira and Shinx. So if we get to a point where either of them lose the game, it's very hard for me to actually win an HOH anymore, because I would have to like really piss off someone to be close with me. So this is probably one of the last HOHs that I can like thoughtlessly win, but it's still tempting because of the fact that like if I think that she's going to target me as the numbers go down, there's more chance of her winning, obviously. So if she's out of the game, I don't have to worry about that. So I'm not entirely sure. It might honestly be like week 3 where I like decided partway through the competition that I was going to try. But I'm not entirely sure. I could see it going either way at this point.
All right, fair enough. Well, that's all the questions I have, Sammy, but thank you for doing this again.
Thank you.